What's up guys, Mark here, back with another playing card review. Today we are reviewing the NOC Luxury Collection playing cards. These are the Rose Quartz, I believe they're called. Yeah, I'll put the spelling up there, but Rose Quartz playing cards. Okay, we're back. I'm trying out a new intro thing where I say what the card is first, so the intro is not boring. So then I say what the card is, then do the intro, then get into the video. Sorry about the lights. But yeah, these cards. So I don't have a lot of NOC playing cards. Sorry about the lights. Wanted to say something in the beginning of the video. I normally say this at the end, but looking at YouTube studio and stuff, most people don't watch till the end. So yeah, if you guys like these type of videos, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, commenting, I really appreciate it. Especially liking and subscribing means a lot to me. We're at 88. We're gonna have a super cool video when we get to 100. But yeah, these cards are super cool. So backstory to these, like I said, NOC Luxury Collection. These are the Rose Quartz ones. So I have as you can see, if you guys saw my last video, the holder I just put up there, I have the NOC Sapphire Edition ones up there. And before this, I only had one deck of NOC playing cards, and it was a deck, the Noctober playing cards, so it was like Halloween themed, so it was kind of hard to get a vibe from this company, being that, it's just a Halloween themed type of deck. But my mom a couple months ago, or yeah, a couple weeks, probably about a month ago, doesn't matter, got me those Sapphire ones, and I rated it a 50 out of 50. I loved it, and looking at the colors, I love the Sapphire. The deck my mom got me, partly because she got it for me, partly because it's super cool. Will forever be on that 12 deck display. But I wanted to check out another color, and this color looks super cool. As you can see, like I said, it's called Rose Quartz, but it's like a rose gold sort of color. Yeah, very cool. Got these cards. Something else really cool that if you guys saw my rant, and I think it was the last video about decks not saying if they're V1 or V2 or whatever, this one says how many cards were made and then which deck this is. And I actually got the 307th deck out of 2300. So very cool. I love that element that some people add to decks. Gonna go on a quick tangent here before we start the video. I get say for the void if removed overlook cards, I get Art of Play doesn't want to say we made this many of them because who knows, they could have made 50,000 of them, but it seems like a rarity, you know what I mean? So by saying how many you've made, it either is or isn't a rarity depending on what the number is. But so I can see why people like Art of Play for some of their decks, if the Octopus Good Palm or the Overlook, either versions of either of those decks, I can see why, because who knows, there could be a ton of them out there, but they make it seem like it's limited. But yeah, so this deck, super cool. Like I said, has the number on the background. One of my favorite tuck cases. I'm not going to go in quite as much detail as I did in the last video. I'll put the last video in the pinned comment if you want to see the Sapphire edition of these. They're called NOC Luxury playing cards, like I mentioned, but yeah, they have a bunch of different colorways for it. This and the Sapphire are definitely my two favorite. It's almost like a holographic look to it. But yeah, love the tuck case, love the big sticker that goes all the way around on it. I love how it's a plasticky feel, and then I believe I mentioned this in the last video too, it kind of has I don't know, a 1800s goth house type of vibe to it, like something you would see on like the stairwell or some shit. I don't know, that's what it kind of makes me think of. I like old stuff. But yeah, that's kind of what it made me think of. Also, I'm not 100% sure. I actually said in my last video, I opened up my favorite deck of cards, so if you guys want to check out that one too, it's 40 minutes and 13 seconds long, but it was so much fun. But what I was getting at with that is the last deck I knew was made in by Legends playing cards, and I believe this deck was too, because I guess Legends is known for wrapping the deck, and USPCC doesn't do it. It's possible someone else did it. I've mentioned this before, but like trying to look up, like there needs to be like a Wikipedia for playing cards. Like you can't just look up like what stock was this on. Like you have to go to the, you know, like if it's like say like the Fontaine Sky Blues, for instance, you would have to go to Zach Mueller's Instagram and like go back like 30 posts to when he posted the Sky Blues and said these are what stock it's on, like the websites, and you know resellers don't say that, so it is a bit hard for doing what do you call it, just getting the information out. They do smell very strong and similar to the Curious Wonder is my favorite deck of cards, the last video we just did. So I would assume it is made on the same... Are these upside down? That's weird. It doesn't matter. But yeah, super cool deck of cards. Yeah, love these a lot. Two-way, symmetrical back design. Very good deck for cardistry, I think. You know, it's not too much, but like it looks cool. I'm not going to do any shuffles until we go through the cards. Huh, that's weird. Oh, I do remember this from the last deck now. Super cool. So we've got our two jokers here, and yeah, like I said, I just love the color. I don't know how well the color is gonna pick up on that depending on the lighting, but just chef's kiss. It looks so good. I love that color so much. I remember like when the iPhone first came out with the rose gold color, and I was like, oh, it looks so cool. But yeah, so here's the two jokers, two identical jokers. Then they give you a blank card with the back design, and then they give you an extra Queen of Hearts. Love that. Good for magic, stuff like that. You know, to have extra Queen of Hearts, good for magic tricks. The deck, I already know how it's gonna feel. It's gonna feel similar to the Sapphire Edition, but yeah, they feel super nice. Smell super nice as well. I think I already mentioned that. But yeah, if I remember, there's not too much to the, what do you call them, pips and indices and stuff. I do like that big ace a lot. With the color there, it says the Luxury Collection Riffle Shuffle X House of Playing Cards. And it's funny, before I got that last deck, I had always thought, I'm going to start going through the cards as I'm talking here, yeah, standard pips and indices. I'd thought that House of Playing Cards was just like a reseller, like X-Dex or something, but apparently not. Pips and court cards are super cool for these. They add, like the Sapphire ones look so good with that blue color in it, and these look very cool as well. Yeah, just pretty standard, just the color differences, and then I love how a lot of decks do this, but whatever color palette they're going with, like, you know, the other one, the black will stay black, and then if it's like an orange, or in this case rose gold or rose quartz, whatever you want to call it, they switch away from the red to that. Just looks super good. Like I said, it's standard, but looks very nice with the color on it. Super cool. I'll put a screenshot of it up there, but I woke up this morning, or I guess yesterday morning now, it's super late, but I had posted a picture, if you guys have seen me on Reddit or whatever, in the Playing Cards forum, I posted my, you know, second holder there with both the decks, and it got quite a bit of views and comments and stuff, and then X-Dex X commented on it and said, they said, awesome display, thanks for rocking our stickers or something like that. So that was super cool. I mean, I've tried to get cards from them multiple times, tried to get them to, you know, do what, like I did with Brian's Bargains, and they haven't, but, you know, it's whatever. I just thought that was super cool that they commented on that, though. So if you see this X decks, send me a bunch of stickers, and I will put them all over. I love your guys' stickers. As I said in my reply back to you, they're the coolest. But, yeah, either way, I love what they do, and, yeah, no one has to give me anything for these reviews. I only have 88 subscribers, but yeah, not gonna spend too much time here. Don't want to make this a crazy long video. Like I said, if you want a more in-depth version, definitely check out the pinned comment of the Sapphire Edition. That was like, these, I kind of knew what to expect, just in a different color. That shuffle felt amazing, by the way. But yeah, that was like my first like real NOC deck, so I wasn't so I was like, you know, very surprised by it because I hadn't seen a deck, you know, one of their decks before, and I gave it a perfect score. This color, I really like it. It might just be slightly below the Sapphire, but everything, you know, is gonna be the same pretty much. It's gonna be the same stock, and obviously pips, indices, court cards, tuck case, everything is the same, just with the different colors, so I would expect this to be a similar rating. But these cards feel so good. I would put these up with like the, maybe not quite like S tier with like Dan and Dave, Private Reserve, the Smoke and Mirror V1 Private Reserves, probably like just below those, and the Cherry Casino Holographic. But then after that, I would say this is like one of the best feeling decks. Super slippery. But yeah, I do too. I love just when you do something subtle, like you can just see like that little hint of pink, rose gold, whatever you want to call it, rose quartz as they would say, in there. But yeah, super cool, and I really do like, get that to focus better, how the fan looks, just the two-way symmetrical back design. I really like it. But yeah, super cool deck of cards. Yeah, and like I said, there's not too much else to it. There's a lot of details. Love the extra Queen of Hearts, love the tuck case. The tuck case is definitely the most detailed thing in this. But yeah, super cool deck of cards. Highly recommend it. I'm trying to remember what I paid for these now for the review. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. But yeah, super cool deck of cards. Oh, I guess it might technically not be a 50 out of 50. And we'll go through everything all again. Everything is subjective, you know. A deck could be a 50 out of 50 one day, or a 49 out of 50 one day, depending on, you know, what kind of mood I'm in, how I'm feeling, whatever. But, so, you know, everything's always subjective, so just keep that in mind. But I was going to say the price on the last ones, if I recall, my mom said they were around $20, and that was from a magic shop that I know, that both of us know very well. So it's a resale price, if you know what I mean, like a little more than they would be online. But I think I actually paid about $20 for these. But the people, Tin City Magic, if you're anywhere near Fort Myers or Naples, Florida, super cool store. They always give me discounts. Super cool guys. That's how I started getting into Magic. Sorry, dropped a card there. Very slippery deck of cards. When I was a kid going there on vacation, my parents have a condo in Florida, and yeah, I would just go there all the time and watch this guy do magic tricks, and yeah, it was just so much fun. So that's how I got into Magic in the first place. So yeah, very cool store. They have a bunch of Magic stuff. They also have a bunch of really cool decks. I've done a few I've done one video in particular showing like their entire store and stuff, showing the guy doing a trick for me. But yeah, wow, man, that just looks so nice. Like when you're doing that anaconda or whatever it's called. I don't think I can call it that, as I don't go like way up, because I'm not quite that good, or not nearly that good. But I just love the, like, this back design, like kind of how I said, it's almost like holographic, where like it shimmers off the lights. So just like, you know, when you do that, it's just like, I don't know, like very shiny, very exuberant, or I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, but it just really stands out a lot. Is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, super cool deck of cards. Yeah, and let's get into the review in one sec here. That was bad. Try that one more time. Yeah. And obviously, you know, decks need to be broken in and everything, but this deck just feels so nice. Love it a lot. But yeah, okay, let's get into the rating. So tuck case, I know if you guys are new here, well, if you're not new here, you know how I feel about tuck cases. I prefer the plasticky feel. This one, the papery part doesn't even feel that papery, like it's got like a coating over it almost. Between that and then the switch of material on here, the embossing, the super cool sticker that goes all the way around. I love the big stickers. Like I said, the old Gothic house sort of look to it. I just love everything about it. The color, not even to mention the having how many they made on the back and having it being a low number is really cool too. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for sure. One of my favorite tuck cases of all time. Super, super cool. Let's see. Back design here. And this is something I always mention in my videos, but you know, back designs can be 10 out of 10 for a different reason. It can be like a asymmetrical design that looks really cool when you keep them in order, and like, you know, that's cool for that one thing to do a fan with. But you know, so like a simplistic back design can be a 10 out of 10. It doesn't have to be crazy. There's different purposes for different decks, and I think this in its purest form is like a cardistry deck, and I think this is really well for cardistry. So yeah, I kind of just base everything off what I'm going to use it for. Like the Fantastique playing cards, like that deck, I would never want to get them out of order. The back design is a 10 out of 10, and it's really cool to have a deck like that to show people, you know, when you're showing them your collection. Like, it's definitely, I just got it, but definitely like one of the cooler things I'll show people in my collection. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this animated deck of cards. I'll do a review on it at some point, but like I said, things can be good if it's simplistic, or if it's crazy, wild, artistic, beautiful. Like, it can be a 10 out of 10 for different reasons, but for the simplicity and look and just very elegant look, yeah, that's the main thing about this deck of cards. I can say it's just super elegant. Like, this is a deck of cards I would bring to a wedding, and yes, I'm probably the person that would bring a deck of cards to a wedding. I bring cards with me literally everywhere I go. But yeah, this is probably the deck I would bring to a wedding. It's about yeah, 10 out of 10 for sure. Alright, let's get into the face cards here. And going off of that, so like how I mentioned earlier from the back design, that this, I think, deck is good for cardistry, good for like black tie sort of vibe events, you know, just like a formal deck of cards. Like, I feel like if you're thinking of a formal deck of cards, you don't want the pips and indices to be all over the place. Like, if this is something, you know, you're playing with some casual card players, like you whether it's just doing cardistry for them or just playing a game of euchre or whatever card games people or you like to play. I like euchre, but you know, whatever it is, like, I feel like this, in the scenario I'm thinking of in my head, like, you don't want crazy pips and indices, crazy court cards. I like how they're slightly different and they're very elegant and intriguing and beautiful, but yeah, like I said, it just fits like my ideal, like what I would use this deck for in my head. So yeah, if that makes any sense, I think for what the deck is, this is how the pips and indices, the Quartz cards should be. So 10 out of 10 for that. Feel these cards. The feel is really, really nice. Like I said, if you guys are new to the channel here, every time I say a deck of cards feels nice, literally every single time. You can go back and watch all my videos, but I'd appreciate it. But yeah, every time I say that, the deck of cards buckles. The very next shuffle, if I'm about to shuffle and I'm like, yeah, this deck feels amazing, it always does that shit. Literally never once has it let me down. It's always, always, always done that. You can go back and look at any random video. I promise you, if I say this deck of cards feels great as I'm about to do a shuffle, that's what happens. But yeah, so that's the curse of the channel, I guess, and we can't fault the cards for that. I am gonna try and do one perfect shuffle here. I did this in my last video, and I know, I always get comments about fraying the edges of the deck or whatever, but nah, it's whatever. Yeah, let's see if we can do this here. I kind of bent them the wrong way a little bit. It was before I tried to do the perfect shuffle. I don't know why, it's just with like newer decks of cards that I seem to have trouble doing this with. I don't know why that is. You would think it would be easier with a newer deck of cards. Oh my gosh, I might have to cut this part out if this takes way too long. There we go. I was just about at the point where I was like, alright, I'm just gonna cut out a little bit there, but whatever. Oh my gosh. I said this in my last video, but that sound so satisfying. Yeah, super nice deck of cards. Love the smell, love the feel, love everything about it. Ooh, did you guys, I hope that was in frame. Yeah, it should have been. Yeah, that felt amazing. Super cool deck of cards. Yeah, really like it. Feel has to be a 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than this. Like I said, like, I mean, you know, $100 deck of cards, or I guess the Day Private Reserve, typically the going rate is for more than that for those, but for, you know, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. There might be a couple decks that are slightly better than this, but if you just want to get a really good handling, good deck of cards for cardistry, I would highly recommend any of the NOC Luxury Collection. They've never sponsored me or sent me anything like that. I mean, it would be cool if they did, but they haven't. But yeah, I'm just saying that, just no biasy. That's how I feel. These cards are so cool. And I have heard a couple things on Reddit about the owner not being the greatest guy. I have no opinion on that. I haven't looked into it enough to really say or have an opinion on that. But yeah, that's just what I've heard. And it's interesting. You guys would have to let me know in the comments. Like I said, it's so fucking hard to do research for this stuff because it's so hard to find stuff about it. But NOC doesn't, how I mentioned that thing about the, the House of Playing Cards earlier, do they just sell all their decks through that? Because I've never seen a NOC website. Maybe they had one back in the day. Maybe it's always been with House of Playing Cards. I'm not sure. But yeah, another 10 out of 10 for the feel And then price of these, this is just such a beautiful deck. Handles so nicely. Like I said, this is the deck of cards you would bring to a wedding and people would be like, wow, that's a really cool deck of cards. And then you'd be like, yeah, it was worth $20. So yeah, that's the type of deck this is. I feel like, yeah, so cool. Like I said, I mean, for the feel, it's definitely like, I would want to use it as an everyday deck just because they feel so nice, but like only having one of this colorway and stuff, I don't know, I just feel like the look of them, not even price, because, you know, I have decks of cards that I paid $20 for, you know, that I'll use on a daily basis and, you know, completely like try cardistry with them and, you know, get blood on them or rip a card or, you know, whatever when I'm trying really hard to practice stuff. And, you know, I don't mind that, but I just feel like it would be like committing a crime or something to do this with a deck of cards this beautiful. So yeah, I guess not too surprising, but yeah, it's just such a great deck. The luxury collection, everything about it I love. Like I said, if you want to see what the sapphire ones look like, I have a video on that. I'll put it in the pinned comments. But yeah, it has to be 50 out of 50. Such a beautiful deck of cards, one of my favorites. And yeah, I'm so glad my mom ended up getting this deck, or not this deck, but the sapphire one for me, because otherwise I never would have really known about these. And honestly, it's one of my favorite decks. I typically lean towards like Art of Play, Dan and Dave. I have a few other ones that I like, other brands that I like, obviously King's Wilds projects, but NOC is, for the 3 decks I have, 2 of them I've rated a 50 out of 50. I definitely want to try, I definitely, in the future, I'm going to get a deck of theirs that isn't from the luxury collection. I don't know if the, you know, obviously by the name luxurious, like if this is a more expensive, if, you know, more money goes into this deck, but I would just like to get like a classic, regular, you know, average deck of NOC cards to see how they feel and compare and comparison. I guess both of those kind of make sense. I don't know. I'm tired, but yeah, 50 out of 50 NOC Rose Quartz playing cards, the luxury collection. Thank you for watching. As I said earlier, really mean a lot to me if you guys enjoy this type of video. If you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It means a lot to me for everyone who watches these. Appreciate it very much. Thank you guys. And yeah, that's about it. If you have a deck of cards you want me to review, let me know in the comments. If I have it, I'll review it. If I don't have it, I will get it and review it. And stay tuned, we're 12 subscribers away from a very cool video as well as a giveaway I'm going to be doing. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Appreciate all of you. Love all you guys. Thank you so much. Couldn't do this without you. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.